When did I first hear about the play Mrs. Christmas, a new Christmas story to tell? Why did I want to play this unique Christmas character? Well, the amazing Karole Foreman, who is producing and directing this piece, has been a dear friend for many years. And she, a long time ago, I want to say a couple of years ago, said, "Hey, look at this piece." And we said, we both liked it. And because it was a new piece. It was a Christmas show for a woman because we have a whole lot of Scrooges out there, and during COVID, especially, there was like just a whole lot of one-man Christmas carols, and we all said, "Well, where's the women's side? Where's the ladies' point of view?" So in Mrs. Christmas, I heard about it from Carol, and we decided this would be a great piece for us to work on together. And at one point, we tossed an idea of like, well, let's trade off and we'll direct each other. And she made some inquiries around, and she just decided, let's just produce this thing on its own. And we went through the usual process of auditions, and she saw other people with Tom Jacobson, the writer, and I was delighted to be offered the role. And it's a big one. I mean, it's 80 minutes, and it's singing, and it's storytelling, and we do a lot of really, I don't want to give too many things away, but there's a lot of variety in the way that we tell the stories. There's some audience interaction and a little audience participation. No pressure. Don't have to get up and turn around or jump up and down. But Carol has really done a beautiful job with the show, and I like having the woman's point of view. It's really more about how we manage with our mothers. It's those teenage kids dealing with mom, and how mom can be so embarrassing, or mom can be so over the top, or those moments where you just go, oh my, that's my mother. So I know I'm guilty of that with my daughter, and I know my mother would often be just a little more gregarious than I was comfortable with. So, I think as a parent, some of our job is to slightly or greatly embarrass our kids to show them that they can be, they can get out there and go big or go home. Mrs. Christmas really deals with like Christmas traditions and parenthood, and just it adds a little more slice of reality to the holiday season. So it's heartwarming, it's funny, it's insightful. We're really having a good time, and I'm really delighted to be a part of the launching of a new show like this. I think it's going to be a new holiday favorite. Tell us the main themes of the Mrs. Christmas story. Well, as far as the themes go, I think I talked a little bit about that, in that it's dealing with the parent-child relationship, even as parents age, and the different complications that come from moving into later parts of life. That sense of the parent embarrassing the kid from the parent's point of view and from the kid's point of view. We get an education about a lot of traditions from overseas, like how did they what are German traditions, or a Greek tradition, or Iceland or Japan, like the whole just the gamut of different traditions, crafts, songs, what do different people do for the holidays. And so that's a lot of fun, and actually very educational at the same time. There's the writing is very sharp and smart, and we learn a lot. And so the themes: how do you celebrate? How do you how do you remember and honor people that you love and care about during the holidays, especially? How do you deal with all the stuff that comes around with Christmas, all the craft making and all the I gotta do this and I gotta make the turkey soup and I gotta make and freeze and serve the certain cookies and the traditions that had to be done just so. Those kinds of expectations are addressed in the play. Just generational connections, joy. How do you manage people's joy? What about all those people that are just so happy, so joyous during Christmas, especially when you're like, I'm just not in the mood. So there's a bit of that. Um, there are 8 new songs in the play. I love this. So Tom Jacobson, the playwright, as I understand, he has written the lyrics, but he hired 8 different composers to do the music. So these songs feel like you've heard them before. There's one that could come straight out of a hymnal. There's one that tells a wicked little kind of dark but funny story. There's the kind of a mashup between the 12 Days of Christmas and Sleigh Ride. There is a really modern, abstract song that is kind of evocative of your most avant-garde kind of music. Yes, I think that's the part of the point is that we go through Mother's scrapbook and we find different Christmas carols, and we learn and we enjoy the different perspectives from these different kinds of music. What do I want the audience to get out of the Mrs. Christmas production? I hope they get, well, we've had a few previews now, so I get a little sense of what they are getting. And that is that they are really enjoying the show. They're having a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs involved. There are, I don't want to give too much away. There's a lot of, yes, a lot of recognizing their own selves, their own mothers, their own traditions, their own challenges with the holiday season, and yeah, really recognizing yourself in this story. And ultimately, it has a very heartfelt, heartwarming finale, which is just really lovely. I'm very proud to be a part of this process and to launch this lovely new play. Talk about the playwright's play. What do I like about his unique writing? Wow. Okay, so I really need to find more of Tom's plays because I'm really intrigued by him. I know he has like 70 different plays, but I've been working on this one now because it's about 80 minutes. It's all, I speak and sing through the whole time. There is an accompanist played right now by Cody Bianchi, and but so there's a lot of words that I am really really wanting to honor Tom's words because he chooses them very carefully. He's very carefully crafting the words. You can tell that he loves words and that words are really important to him. He's crafted this play beautifully. It's very descriptive. The way he talks about the experiences, that it feels like you're there. And again, it's like given the woman's perspective. I love that he has captured that feeling of a young girl growing up and trying to figure out how to manage her own reactions to her own mother. Mother's big and mother's expansive and gregarious, and our character and her daughter is just like, that's not even though oftentimes we kind of become our parents, which he gets. He really grasps that idea as well. So I don't think you're going to have to come see, because there's nuance, there's contradiction. It's not all sweet and like an all-day sucker 7 days a week. It's not it's not dark. It gets a little, like, you sense that there's something deep. There's more depth to the piece than might the title might infer. I think that it's been described for or recommended for like age 15 and up. But I think if you had like a 12-year-old who's been in the theater a lot, they would be fine. It's an elevated language. There's no profanity, there's no nudity, there's nothing that would keep a younger audience away. But his language is more elevated. I'll say that instead of that would be the thing. I think a couple of things might go over younger people's heads, but I had to look up things too. I like an author or a playwright that challenges me, so that I need to go investigate what was that idea that he was talking about, what was that reference that he made, what I want to find out more after I get out of the theater. So that's what I admire about Tom and his writing. He's been very present this week, so it's been really fun to connect with him and find out more about this story. I can tell you that he's told me that this one of the main stories in the course of the night is about Christmas Eve at Candota Lutheran Church, and a very, very funny mishap that happens. And apparently, he had been a member of a choir, and this lady, who sounds like she was the inspiration for Mrs. Christmas, she told him this story that happened in her church, and he said he felt like the keeper of the story, and that he should carry this on, pass it on, and it's a great, really fun, funny, over the top kind of story, but apparently very true, based on a true story. So that's really fun to see how he's folded in this reality into his character that I get to play. Tell us about the producer, director of the play, how she's helped bring the character and the play to life for the audience. Oh, Karole Foreman, the lovely, the brilliant, the talented Karole Foreman and I have known each other for many years. We've done 3 or 4 plays together, a couple of Shakespeare plays. And I love her like a sister, and I'm always inspired by her. She has lifted me and encouraged me, because anytime you're doing a one-person show, there's just a lot to learn, and until the lines are learned and the blocking is in place and the props are there, it takes a while to get all that integrated so that it's running smoothly, and we just kind of hit that place. And so today we had a matinee, a preview matinee, and it was so much fun, and people were rolling in the aisles, and it was delightful. It has been all this weekend. So Karole is really instrumental in keeping the play moving. She has some incredibly inventive ways to just address certain segments, which I think people will really enjoy. She'll be out front with the concessions, most likely. When she's one of the most riveting and gifted, talented performers that I've ever seen. She's top notch in everything that she does. So, as a producer and a director, that is no different. She's nurturing and challenging me with love and support, and I just I think the world of her, and I think that also audiences will feel the love and care and the just the incredible heart that Karole has infused this story with. Um, you can't miss it. Why should or must the viewers attend this production of Mrs. Christmas? Wow, well, how often do you get to see a brand new play completely in its infancy? You can be the first ones to see it. Um, you can say, I was there at the beginning of this very special new play. I think I've talked a lot about it. It's just heartwarming and funny and connective to some of the real ridiculousness that we deal with in the holidays. And you don't always get to see the woman's side, the mother's side, the lady's point of view at the Christmas. It's kind of like you get to see Mrs. Cratchit just kind of reach her at the end of her rope with Mr. Scrooge during Christmas Carol, but in this case, the ladies have the whole evening. So it's unique in that, but it's again kind of it really honors the mothers in our holiday season, and I just promise I'm just, I'm gonna have I will I promise I will have you a really good time when you come and see Mrs. Christmas at the Aurora Theater. I'll be playing the singer until December 14th. And then the last week of performance, Michelle Merring will be taking over the role until December 21st. We play Friday to Saturday and matinee on Sundays. So evening is at 7, matinee is at 2. I believe there's a couple of Monday performances too, but you can check the website for that. Anything else about the play? Oh, one of the fun things has been I'm usually based in San Diego. I do a lot of theater in San Diego. So this is my first foray north. So it's been really a pleasure to see the new audiences in Long Beach and to feel part of this community, being a new part of the community. And so I hope that you'll come see this little San Diego girl stretch her wings in Long Beach. I think it's fun that I get to sing. I don't really dance. I get to play a little guitar and read some music. Um, you don't always get to have this wide range of musical styles. That's pretty cool. Um, it's a very intimate space. It seats 50 if you really, if you really, yeah, there's 50 seats, but it's just really cozy and warm in the environment of the Aurora. And so it's open seating. You just grab your seats and come on in. Yeah, you know what I think it'd be great for like just all the ladies, moms, grandmas, aunts, nieces, sisters, daughters, and the guys too. But I think especially like mothers and daughters. We don't really get a lot of opportunity to see a Christmas or a holiday story really for us. And I think, ladies, this one's for us. Hi, I'm Linda Libby. I'm playing Mrs. Christmas at the Aurora Theater through Signal Hill Sandbox is the producer. But we are at the Aurora in Long Beach, and we play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Check us out on the website. I am excited to see you at the theater. Happy, happy holidays. When did I fall in love with theater, and why do I have to be a part of the theater world? I fell in love with the theater very young. I think I was first or second grade, and I think a neighbor took me to see the Three Billy Goats Gruff, and it must have been some terrible, very just bare bones, shoestring budget kind of children's theater. But I want to do that. My father was a salesman, my mother was a teacher. There was no real family connection to the theater, but I knew that was it. And so I wrote a play when I was in fifth grade. I was in a play in fourth grade, and I was very shy, but the theater gave me a place to feel safe. And yeah, I've just loved it ever since. It's just a part of my DNA. It's something I have to do. When did I fall in love with acting, and when did it go from interest to obsession? Uh, I also had a lot of cousins when I was a kid, very young, and we would get together, and it was almost like uh, siblings. We were just really close for a very short time of our lives, but we'd get together and we would play soundtracks from like all over and dance around and create create plays and create just little set pieces. We would wear our mother's old prom dresses and dress up my cousin. There were a lot of girls, just like in all the theater, and our cousin Buddy was very, very. He was game. He was. He didn't mind if we put him in really weird looking things and wigs, and he played right along with us. But yeah, so we created entertainment for our family very early, and yeah, still doing it today. My theater experience, why is it such a unique format for both actors and audience? I think we need theater more now than ever because of our connection to these screens that we're on all the time. It kind of isolates us. We can find anything we want just in a snap of a finger, and the theater provides a place for us to come together, to have a community, to to rub shoulders and bump elbows and see people dealing with their problems, and being able to just try out their different ways of engaging with the world by observing and having other people around us observing, where all our heartbeats go at the same time. Our breath actually comes together when we're at the theater. Um, it's a very sacred experience for me, and I think that audiences audiences leave changed. That when you're in the audience with other people, that your cells change. I understand that when we're inspired by a play or by a musical performance or an astounding feat of athleticism or musicianship, whenever we are inspired, that our feet perspire just a little bit, and that literally our chemical makeup changes, and that we become better at who we are, and that inspiration lasts for like up to 3 days. And so I think it's really important that the theater exists, that the people that are doing theater understand the power and the magnitude of the impact we have, in that we have a chance to inspire people, so that we make the world a better place. What's my process creating, becoming the character in a play or musical? The late, great Roger Rees said something very beautiful about becoming a character or playing a character. He said, I think he was the one that played Hamlet for the RSC more than anyone else. And he says, you look down at your arm and you're playing Hamlet, but your arm looks very much like Hamlet's arm. And your face, the expressions in your face, those are Hamlet's expressions as you play him. So I think it's very important that we start with our own personal connection to the character, that we learn to love the character and represent them. And that takes a part of me. It takes a part of our inner life, our love, our emotion, our lived experience. And there's something about the connection to the character that's what happens with them is real. And so it feels real to the audience and it feels real to the actor. And then we all go on the journey together. So it's really about, I remember a lot of, it used to be, so I forget who told me, well, someone said to me, how do I trust you? You're an actor. You lie for a living. I said, no, 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 no. I don't, that's exactly the opposite. That I try to bring the truth to the stage and not lies to my life. So I think every character, be it someone that's very kind of close to me, or a character that's very different, who would do things very differently than I would, I still need to find that connection to them, how I love them, how I'm like them, how I can represent them and their opinion and the way they walk through the world. It's again the way that theater creates empathy, and it starts with the actors portraying the characters as truthfully and honestly and connectedly as we can. Hi, I'm Linda Libby. I'm playing Mrs. Christmas at the Aurora Theater through Signal Hill. Sandbox is the producer, but we are at the Aurora in Long Beach, and we play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Check us out on the website. I am excited to see you at the theater. Happy, happy holidays.
Thank you for listening or watching this podcast episode of Stage Explorations. To learn more about the theater creative and more theater creatives and artists on Stage Explorations, go to www.stageexplorations.com. Once again, that is www.stageexplorations.com. There is no space between stage and explorations. You may find more videos, podcasts, and information about this theater creative and other theater creatives and artists on Stage Explorations YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing you in the theater.